YouTube, what is going on? MoneyShift here, and we are at the start of a new series. This is the MoneyShift tier list, and this is where I'm going to be breaking down the best daily drivers you can buy for different price ranges. And today we are starting with the sub $30,000 price bracket because let's be honest, cars are getting crazy expensive. The average price of a new vehicle in the United States is over $40,000, but that doesn't mean if you don't have 40K, you can't find something that fits your needs. So today we're going to be breaking down the sub $30,000 price bracket, and we're going to be talking about all the best cars. Now, one of the things you'll notice in this list is that there's a variety of different vehicles. We have EVs, we have sedans, we have SUVs, we have sports cars, because all of them are available under 30 grand, and there is a different buyer for each of them. So the buy now category won't just have sports cars, we might have pickups, we might have sedans, who knows, because everybody needs to know what the right car is. Doesn't matter if you're autocrossing every weekend or just going to Home Depot. So let's break down the list of entrants that we're going to fill out this tier list on. We have the Hyundai Elantra, the Corolla, the Mazda 3, the Chevrolet Bolt, the Honda Civic, Hyundai Sonata, Bronco Sport, new Accord, new CR-V, CX-5, Miata, Altima, Outback, new Prius, RAV4 Sportage, new Kona, WRX, Maverick, Santa Cruz, EV Mini, Seltos, and the GR86. You guys see the tier list on the left should be pretty self-explanatory. The one category I want to break down is the Y category. These are vehicles that are fine to buy, but better options exist. So it's that tier above that runaway category. Starting off with the Elantra, we're going to go right into the good buy segment, and the reason why is pretty simple. You can buy a base bog standard Hyundai Elantra for $20,000 or a standard Hyundai Elantra hybrid for $24,500. You're getting a lot of standard features, a lot of efficiency, and a well-packaged machine that has plenty of space on the inside. And $30,000, you can option this thing up right to that $30,000 mark and have a car that has adaptive cruise, lane centering, all this jazz. Hyundai can pack so much tech into the Elantra for so cheap. Now, the Corolla I'm putting in the Y category, and that might put off some, but let me tell you why I'm giving it this rating. While the standard Toyota Corolla, this does not include the Corolla GR, is a good machine, okay? It's reliable, it does the thing, it'll always start, it's cheap to run. The fact of the matter is, I would have a Hyundai Elantra over a Toyota Corolla because you're able to get more features, a better warranty, and you can probably get a better interest rate depending on your time of buying. That is why I'm putting the Corolla at a Y. The Mazda 3 is also a good buy. You can get a hatchback manual for under $30,000 if you want a fun, free-spirited, high MPG, beautiful machine. You should definitely consider the Mazda 3. In fact, even if I would rank these, I would put it above the Hyundai Elantra. Now, it doesn't have as much tech as something like the Hyundai Elantra, so if you want all that tech, definitely buy the Elantra over the 3, but if you value elegance, luxury, things like that in this segment, definitely go for the 3. Now, the Chevrolet Bolt, we're going to plop into the lease category, and the reason why I say that is because the incentives are just outrageous. At the time of this video, I urge you to find out what the lease special is on the Bolt because I think you'll be surprised. Not only does the Bolt have a very low starting price, but it qualifies for the $7,500 tax credit, and maybe in your state, you'll get a check back just for leasing the car. In Massachusetts, they'll give you a check right to your door for leasing an electric vehicle. So when you lease an EV, they take that tax credit right off the top. The full $7,500 goes right into your buy price, which makes the Bolt a very lucrative lease for you. And on top of that, after your lease term, you give the thing right back, regardless of what the depreciation is, because let's be honest, Bolts have not held their value quite well. So it's a good machine, but definitely do not buy at this perfect moment. The Honda Civic is in the buy now category. It combines what the Mazda 3 and the Hyundai Elantra offer into one machine. If you want all the practicality of a hatchback and you want a manual, you can get it in the Honda Civic Sport hatch. You just want a sedan that does the thing and gets fully loaded with all the tech gadgets and wizardry, you can get a Honda Civic Touring. You want a sports sedan, you can get a Honda Civic SI. They got every type of stroke for every type of folk in the Honda Civic. That is definitely the buy now category of this segment. Now, the next cars that we're going to cover are the Altima, the Sonata, and the Camry. These are three vehicles that do battle against each other. Oh, and the Accord, excuse me. So we're going to include them all in this next section. So the Sonata, very similar to the Elantra, is packed, it's loaded, it has tons of different models, but I'm putting it in the Y category because there are better options. Now, this might surprise you, but one of the better options actually is the Altima. And while I wouldn't buy the Altima, the lease rates on the Altima are very, very good. I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, T, it's a CVT. It's variable compression turbo or an anemic 4-cylinder, but Nissan has started off with the CVT transmission, and they've really honed it in and created a great product. The Altima cruises like none of the other options in its class on the highway, thanks to that CVT, has an incredible fuel efficiency and tons of tech. But I would not buy because the CVT reliability long-term has not been something that Nissan has been known for, so you could likely get into one of these for very, very cheap and get out of it before you start to see any issues. And the buy now category, we're going to be putting not the Accord, because as much as I would love to give it the buy now category, it's still too new to do it, so we're going to be putting it in the good buy category. The Accord's looks may have taken a massive hit from generation to generation, but its tech and efficiency did not. Higher trim Accords get Google information baked in, and now the highest trim level is in fact a hybrid Honda Accord. Gone is the 2.0 liter turbocharged transmission engine. So because of that, I'm only giving this a good buy. Now let's move on to the SUV segment, because let's be honest, there's a bunch of these. We have the Bronco Sport, the RAV4, the CRV, the CX-5, the Outback, the Sportage, the Kona, there's the Seltos. We got all these different SUVs. So where are we going to be slotting all of these cars in? Well, I'm going to kick us off and say buy now. We're going to start at the top, and we're going with the CX-5. While a lot of these SUVs have a ton to offer, few combine everything into one package like the CX-5. The CX-5 gives you luxury feel, a smooth ride, and high efficiency with tons packed in for under $30,000. You could park a Mazda CX-5 next to an Audi Q5 and people would think that they're valued the same. That is how good of a job Mazda did with the CX-5. And if you're considering an SUV under $30,000, look at Mazda first before you look at other good buy options like the RAV4 and the CRV and the Bronco Sport. Okay, shout out to Ford for producing a product that is fun, roomy, efficient, kind of badass. Okay, the Bronco Sport gets the job done. Now, the Y category, I'm putting the Sportage because there's just better options. So while the Sportage in and of itself is a fine machine, the CRV, the RAV4, the Bronco Sport, the CX-5 are better buys, so pick between one of those four vehicles. Don't even extend yourself to the fine folks at Kia. Now, the rando here is the Outback. Okay, as much as I would want to give this a good buy rating, I can't. And the reason why I can't is because of Subaru's CVT. While we give Nissan the nod for what they've been able to generate in the Altima, the CVT in the Subaru Outback is extremely lackluster. And because of that, combine that with a very anemic, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, run away from a base model Subaru Outback that costs under $30,000. It does not do the thing like you want. And same reasoning for the Kia Sportage. We're putting the Kia Seltos in there as well. The CX-5, the RAV4, the CR-V, and the Bronco Sport are just better vehicles. So let's pause here for a second, okay? The buy now category might have a car that surprises you. A lot of people forget the CX-5 exists, but it truly is one of the better vehicles under $30,000. And the reason why the Civic is here is because there is a Civic for every customer. From full efficiency to full sport to everything in between, the Civic lineup has you covered. The good buy category has a wide list of vehicles as well. So right now, okay, there's 8 cars that you can go out and buy under $30,000 that do the thing and do it well. That's pretty awesome. All right, let's move on to the smaller SUV, which is the Kona. Well, this is pretty much a wild card because it's brand new, okay? This Kona literally just came out, but if we base this on the last one with some minor improvements, it's gonna be a good buy. While it is smaller than the RAV4, the CR-V, the Bronco Sport, the CX-50, the fact of the matter is you'll be able to get a more fully loaded Kona for the same price, and let's be honest, you probably don't need all that room. Okay, let's move on to the fun stuff. And I know what you guys are thinking, T, there's a Prius down there. What do you mean by fun stuff? Well, that's the car we're going to start with because you should just buy the Prius. Look, I get it. I'm just as shocked as you are. I'm recommending a Toyota Prius. I am. Because, you know, while other people have caught up in the realm of efficiency, okay, the Ford Maverick can get 50 mpg around town with ease. There's EVs out now that are cheaper, that do the thing just as good as Toyota. The fact of the matter is they don't look as good as the new Prius. Go to Google right now, type in 2023 Prius, or go to the MoneyShift YouTube page, watch the 2 shorts I have on the Prius. This thing is just beautiful, and it's just as efficient as it ever was, with a 70 horsepower bump over previous. So now it drives like a Civic. This thing does 0 to 60 in 6-7 seconds, which is perfectly fine for a vehicle that gets 50 miles to the gallon, whether it's front wheel drive or all wheel drive. Go buy the Prius. It's a banger, and it costs under $30,000 all day long in all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive trim, which is pretty special because the same can't be said for all of the cars on this list. Now, the next lease vehicle is the Mini EV, and I'm actually going to slot it above the Bolt here. This is a stat rank if you're paying attention at home. The Mini EV, while it has one of the lowest range numbers in the electric vehicle, ecosystem, is the best to drive. You have all that electric torque with the Mini chassis, and if you live in a city or your commute is under 20 miles a day, the Mini EV presents so much value because the lease can be had for so cheap. Now, we're going to take a coffee break as we get into our last 5 because all of these cars are really good. Shout out to mugs that just keep your coffee warm for the long haul. They really do it. Okay. We got the Miata, we got the WRX, we got the GR86. Which one should you buy? Which one's a good buy? And which one should you lease or say goodbye to? Well, I'm going to put the FRS in the buy now category. I called it the FRS. It's the GR86. It's the BRZ. You can get it for under $30,000. We're putting the Miata in the good buy category, and we're putting the WRX in the lease category. Let's talk about each of these. The WRX leases at an unbelievable rate right now. You can get a WRX for under $350 a month, and you have an all-wheel drive, manual, turbocharged thing. It's good to drive. That 2.4-liter direct-injected turbocharged engine has torque all across the range. The efficiency is decent. The space is immense. You have a car that's all 4 seasons, and you have it for $340 a month or less, depending on where you are in the US at the time of this video. The GR86 and the BRZ are great buys. You have the fun of an MX-5 with more space, and you have new looks. The GR86 is just the quintessential sports car. This is a vehicle that's being considered for driver's car of the year and loses out to vehicles that cost $250,000. Okay? That is why it's in the buy now category, and space is the only reason why the MX-5 is in the good buy category and not buy now. The trunk of the Mazda Miata could barely fit this gallon jug. I know, I've owned 2 of them. That's why the BRZ is a better buy. It's truly just because of usable space. So we have 2 vehicles left. We have the Ford Maverick and we have the Hyundai Santa Cruz. You guys already know where I'm going to be putting one of these cars, but you might be surprised where I put the other one. The Santa Cruz I'm putting in the Y category. Now, the reason for that might surprise you, but it's true. The Santa Cruz doesn't do anything as good as all of the vehicles above it. It's not as comfortable to drive every day as a CX-5, a Bronco Sport, a CR-V, or a RAV4. It's not as efficient as a Maverick or a Prius or a Civic. Hell, it can't even haul as much stuff as a Civic Sport hatch. I know what you guys are saying. You're like, T, that's a pickup. How does it not haul as much as a Civic hatchback? You might be surprised. The Civic hatchback's boot is positively massive. That thing can haul around a ton of stuff. So even though you can get a turbocharged, dual clutch, all-wheel drive Santa Cruz, you can't get it for under $30,000. The Santa Cruz you're getting for under $30,000 is a naturally aspirated 181 horsepower, not fuel efficient, not fully loaded thing. Actually, because of that, run away. Don't even look at it. If you're in the sub $30,000 price category, do not even look at the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Go buy the Ford Maverick. The Ford Maverick is one of the best buys on the market today. If you guys are considering a Ford Maverick and you want to keep it under $30,000, you can do it with every single Maverick trim level except the Lariat. So you can get an XL in either hybrid or EcoBoost or EcoBoost all-wheel drive. You can get an XLT in hybrid, EcoBoost, or EcoBoost all-wheel drive. Hell, you can get a Ford Maverick with heated seats, heated steering wheel, the whole 9 for under $30,000. No, you can't get a Tremor, okay? You can't get the full off-road Maverick, okay? That pushes the price to 31 G's at its cheapest, but there is so much value in the Maverick. And if you guys are interested in that car, go over to my YouTube channel. I've reviewed the XL, the XLT, the Lariat. I've reviewed all the Mavericks, okay? And I'll give you more information on why that's the vehicle for you. So this is our list, okay? We broke down what are the cars you should buy. The Honda Civic, the CX-5, the Prius, the GR86, and the Maverick are 5 amazing vehicles for a different customer, okay? We have an SUV, we have a pickup, we have a hybrid sedan, we have a do-it-all sedan or hatch, and we have a sporty fun car, all of which are amazing options for under 30 G's. We have good buys, we have cars you should lease, and then we have cars you should just stay away from. While the Corolla, Sonata, Sportage, and Seltos do things okay, there's better cars out there in the same segment. So I'm MoneyShift. This is tier list number 1. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is there a car I missed? If there is, let me know, and maybe I'll add it to future videos. See you next time.